my role is a sort of part-time player, part-time coach. I'm sort of 35 and get to still run around. Obviously my sort of primary role is to look after Witsy and Gruns, who are sort of developing ruckmen. So if I can sort of help them fast track, obviously they've played a few games and sort of travelling all right, so I suppose that's my primary role. G'day mate, thanks for that. You're stealing a bit of airtime.
Arctic. I've got a mic on, by the way, so whatever you say is being recorded, right?
So Hutto had retired from his last two clubs and had actually moved back up to, you know, obviously the last one was up in Brisbane.
It was about the second time I told my wife I'd retired.
And I think he and his wife thought that they'd settled up at the Gold Coast.
And Bucks obviously rang me and sort of said, I initially thought it was a coaching role, and then sort of I came down, I think I even wore a suit or slacks and a shirt. And by halfway through it, he started talking about how I'd played a good year at Lions, and I was like, he's going to ask me to go around again. And he told me, and I think I laughed. I had Rocket, obviously I'm good mates with Rocket, in the room, and I sort of looked at him, I was like, what's going on here? So
I think when that came, he said, oh, I need to talk to the missus about that.
It took a while to move back down. I don't think I answered the phone for a while. My wife, as Buck sort of knows, she makes all the decisions in the house. So look, yeah, it was a unique role I was offered. It was my fourth club, but you're still nervous because you've obviously played against blokes and, you know, done and said things, and yeah, you're a bit apprehensive to see what they think of you.
Oh man, you're moving well.
Well, I know guys like Ben Johnson had a bit of beef with him in the past and didn't really like him much as a player.
Well, I played footy for 14 years and I've only ever hated two people from the opposition. I won't mention one, but obviously one was Hutto. He's just non-stop lip. And he just had a head you just wanted to hit as well. And yeah, we always had a few run-ins on the field and I just really didn't like him at all. I think I even texted Buck, said, what are you doing?
Sort of a bloke who's Ben Hudson. He's probably the most laid-back bloke off the field and probably the most sort of wound up on the field. He's just, the white line and the green grass does funny things to him. He just turns into a bit of a nap job, to be honest.
Ben Reed's out training.
Yeah, I'd say Hutto is the biggest sledger that I've ever come across. Luckily, I'm on his side. Because some of the sprays that he gives out to other players is pretty funny. He'll chase them 50 metres just to let them know what he thinks.
He's prepared to take the P1SS out of all players, all coaches, doesn't matter who they are.
He looks a little bit like Flavor Flav. He looks like the old school 80s rapper. You just need a big one.
Nathan Brown, who's a good mate of ours, he was pretty good on the lip as well. Hutto just terrorised him one day to the point where Brownie was just a shell. He goes, I don't know what to do with this bloke, something wrong with him.
Well, I played a couple of VFL games with him last year. Look, the way he was talking to these young ruckmen, even then I thought, I just laughed really and thought, he's such a dick on the field.
4 clubs, mate, I've been around. What about that?
You know, he was making up for a huge lack in ability with this very strong voice. He knew that if he couldn't chase someone down, well, his voice could travel much further, so he might as well, you know, use that.
He mentioned himself, he said, I'm not a great player, I haven't got a lot of talent. He said, I've got an advantage. And I think that it actually motivates him, it actually gets him going. You know, some players have got to be physical, and which he is a physical player. Some players have got to start a fight or whatever to get themselves going. He can actually get himself going by his verbal repartee.
Yeah, Steele, great job, mate.
Oh, it's obviously to get him going, you know, and I think if he didn't have it, then he'd feel like there was something missing from him.
When he wasn't sledging, it's like he couldn't run. It was like I always said it was like the petrol that got him going, that he had to be sort of paying out other blokes to actually get himself into the game. And on one particular night, he started sledging my opponent about being ugly, and then we started laughing, and then he turned on to me and he said he's almost as ugly as you. I thought that was pretty... I haven't had that happen too many times where your own teammates sledged you.
It's the first time I've ever seen you smile at training.
Probably something, I don't think I'm a master. I like to talk a lot and it keeps me in the games. Probably opponents and teammates think I do waffle on a bit, but it's something that it sort of works for me, keeps my head in the game, and look, if it puts off the opponent at times, that's a good thing. It's certainly, I think it's worked a few times, but there's certainly a lot of times it hasn't, and look, if blokes can get a bit of a laugh at it, so be it.
it makes him laugh when people get sucked in, and he has sucked a lot in over his period of time, and he'll try and do his homework on an individual, what off-field or what buttons he can press, and sometimes he just makes it up and he gets a bite.
Yeah, it's good to sometimes see a response, especially some younger guys. Obviously, they've got a lot more skill and ability than I have, so anything to drag them back to my level. And obviously, I'm a pretty easy target. I'm 35, married, and I'm still running around. So look, I'm a pretty easy target if young guys want to have a go back at me. So. Yeah, look, obviously at all footy clubs these days there's a lot of meetings, and probably the things I've picked up from a lot of footy clubs is, you know, having a bit of fun, a bit of banter, and yeah, we run a bit of some fines, me and Kyle Martin, so yeah, we sort of get basically a lot of the young blokes for what they call selfies and Instagrams or whatever they're sort of, whatever they're up to in the footy club.
He's pinned a couple of the blokes a few times, there's a few repeat offenders.
Yeah, so I've had a few to the point where I've had to buy a membership, so I've got a $200 membership that I've bought, and so any fine that I get now just falls under my membership. But the majority of the ones I got was all basically through my missus, and she was just posting lovely pictures and quotes and stuff and tagging me in them, and sure enough, Hutto's onto them pretty quickly, and yeah, I send the invoice to her and she pays me, and then I pay Hutto.
Yeah, well, yeah, I suppose maybe one of the things that I've sort of been fined for maybe will be sort of having a quick look at myself in the mirror or something like that when I'm walking through.
Oh yeah, any chance there was a bit of banter to be had, he'd be front and square and right in amongst it. I think he might be on Instagram now himself, so he might be having to give himself some fines.
All the guys look forward to that part of the week. It's 5 minutes where we can all piss ourselves laughing.
Obviously, footy clubs can get pretty serious, probably preparing for a game, so look, it's something we enjoy to do and get all the boys in there and have a bit of a laugh.
He's got a great ability to joke and muck around, and even going out on the training track and just before he goes on the playing field, but he can draw the line when it needs to be serious, and he draws the line when to compete, but also he's prepared to offer himself to help younger players, and even that's at the expense of him getting a game. So he's very team orientated. So, and all clubs talk about the team's got to come first. Well, he's really high on his order and of priorities, and that's what he does. He adds a lot to the whole environment.
Substitute stuff. In terms of the stuff that he's done for me and Brody, it's been massive. Just little technique things, building our game and running patterns and taking it to the next level has been massive for us.
Yeah, he's been really good for me. Not so much technical stuff, more opposition analysis, stuff like that. So actually asking him advice on specific players and what he did against those guys to give me a little bit of an insight into other people's games and how I can perhaps get on top of them.
The thing that draws me to Hutto is his passion for the contest, and he shows that with the way that he's played since he's been at the club. And what I wasn't aware of was just how much of a galvaniser he was amongst the playing group, and Rocket was aware of that, and we've got it in spades.
I'm lucky enough to still be running around, so I'm under no illusion that it's got to come to an end, but I enjoy the fact that I've been able to transition and be, pick up a bit of a coaching role, and look, hopefully I'll stay around Collingwood for a few years to come and sort of put wear the blue shirt, as we like to say at Collingwood, the coach's shirt. They can give me one of those, and I can go into the retirement happy man.
Where is he playing now? Collingwood, right.
So here we are tonight at the prestigious President's function. We've got our match day partner Emirates putting on a bit of an event today, so let's go inside and talk to the guests and see how they're getting on. So here we got Bianca Chatfield here. How are you, Bianca?
I'm pretty good, thanks. How are you?
I'm not too bad. Now, in the spirit of Emirates, when was the last time you flew economy, and where'd you go?
Mate, I fly economy all the time.
Don't lie.
I do. Often, if I'm paying, I fly economy. Okay. I mean, if you're paying, I'd fly first class.
Do you know what? I'm flying economy over to the Com Games in about 2 weeks on Emirates. So any danger they could give me an upgrade, that would be really...
Now's your chance to ask.
I know. Who do I need to talk to?
We've got the great man, Pete Hellier here. How are you, mate?
I'm good, Fazalenka. How are you?
Yeah, I'm going well. Now, in the spirit of Emirates, tell us the last time you flew economy, if ever.
Oh, geez, that doesn't happen, mate.
Now, when you go on your holidays, when you fly, what's the first thing you pack in your suitcase?
A Collingwood jumper.
Very good answer. Elite. Elite.
Must have for me, well, it used to be my brush, but I haven't got too much hair these days, so gel, nah, I haven't got enough of that. Oh, look, you make sure I got ample supply of undergarments.
Well done, well done. Now, Collingwood Carlton today, big rivalry game. Do you have any fierce rivals?
My big rival would be, look, probably Carl Sandilands, mate, yeah.
Well, I mean, this is a big game for me because George Colin Boris is an obsessive Carlton fan, and so we've had 6 years of this endless rivalry. If we lose, I get a week of like, oh, your love scenes are very good. Oh, that was very... Did you see that? Did you know? So this is important. This is an important game.
Now, Pete, it's well known that I love a goal celebration. I have to carry on and get around the crowd.
I enjoy you celebrating your goals, so I enjoy it, yeah.
Thanks, mate. If you were to kick a goal in front of 70,000 on the G, what would your celebration look like?
Mate, I'd just be thanking the Lord, you know. I'll be pumped up. Yeah, thank you. I'm pumped up.
You should do this one. This is more of like a guy, if you were like a single guy about town. I'm not sure what your status is, Faz. I'd like to see you next time you kick a goal, this side of the crowd, just point at a woman in the crowd and say, you.
I'll give that a go.
Give that a go.
Beautiful, thanks, Pete.
It's massive. It's massive for the supporters, I think, more so than anyone else. I mean, they've followed the club long before everyone that is at the club was there, and they'll follow the club long after we're gone. So it's tribal, and it comes from a pretty deep place, I reckon.
You know, ourselves, we've lost 2 on the trot, and we certainly don't want to lose 3 in a row. So, as a football club, we know how important this Sunday night is.
Everett's kick 2. Does he get enough on it? Menzel trying. Swanee clever. Oh, that was really well done to side bottom. With a bit of belief here, I reckon.
Move it.
Kerner.
Kerner had to just take off when he had a bit
Oh, Lee, this is awfully dangerous. Such a slow, terrible kick. Side bottom, rolling it. A goal. Collingwood win. The Blues 5 consecutive losses, and Collingwood keep the pressure on the top 4. It was a good game.
I think we've got a very team-orientated group. We didn't play our best, but we did enough to get the points. A couple of weeks ago, we come up against the Bulldogs side that were invested and hungry, as Carlton were tonight, but we were able to find a way.
It was always a tough battle throughout the whole game, and they were still within range. So in patches we were pretty good, but overall we got the job done and we move on.
Yeah, I suppose it wasn't win ugly, but it was just a gritty win, and you know, conditions probably led to that a little bit, but it's just a hard-fought game.
Well, it all come from Keno. He obviously spoiled. I'm not sure who it was, and they were probably going to go forward from that, and he cut off. And I suppose I was just lucky enough to be in the right spot. And, it wasn't the best kick off the boot, but you know, it did the job. Went through.
I guess we're coming off 2 losses, so it's good to be back on the winners list no matter what. So we've took our lessons from the last couple of weeks. No doubt we'll learn some things again tonight. 6-day break, so we've got to move on quickly, but it's good to get the win again.
Yourself, mate. You can go. You want to go first? It all happened pretty quickly, I guess. It seemed to be really slow and nerve-wracking process at the time.
Big day, boys, to the Pies. It's one of the biggest clubs in Australia. Pretty excited?
Initially, it was all about excitement and relief, I guess, that the whole process was over. As it went on, it was probably more about, you know, having to leave home and the sadness that came with that, but at the same time, you know, very happy and excited for me, so.
Yeah, my family were good. I think Mum and Dad were hoping I'd go into state so they could get rid of me, and same as my little brother, I think he had plans to convert my room into a gaming room or something, so...
Yeah, I think that's already happened with my room.
Yeah.
Don't know what's happened with my room at home.
But yeah, obviously, like, at the time, my brothers were pretty stoked and excited, except, you know,
they play footy themselves. They follow the footy pretty heavily.
Yeah, I think I've adjusted reasonably well to the move. It was pretty tough initially, you know, leaving family and friends, and then I guess moving to Melbourne. It's a lot more goes on in Melbourne compared to Adelaide, so that was a challenge in itself. Just finding my way around. I've definitely got lost a few times. My first few times on the way to training, still do. Yeah, still do get lost actually, but yeah, I think I've coped with it reasonably well.
Yeah, I've had it a lot harder than Shaz, having to live at home, getting cooked and cleaned for. So, yeah. But no, it's been nice to obviously get drafted to a Victorian club, and obviously, you know, the biggest club is Collingwood, and it's a bit of a luxury when you see, you know, Shazza and Jono and all the other interstate boys moving over. So I can understand how hard it will be for them. So yeah, it's a bit more appreciation for it now, I guess. Well, yeah, the body's been good the last sort of couple of weeks now. I've put a few good sessions on the track together. Starting to get a little bit of confidence back in my body. So all things going well, we should be back on the park playing in the next couple of weeks.
Being injured, you know, Nace will agree, there's not a whole lot you can control about being injured. As much as you want to get out there and show what you can do as quick as you can, which is what makes it so frustrating.
I mean, it's been some pretty tough times in rehab. It's not the funnest of places. Yeah, having blokes there like Shaz and a few of the other boys there right from the start has been pretty good.
Yeah, I guess we probably haven't had as much to do with Bucks as the guys that have played regular senior footy, but yeah, no, I think it's probably different to what I first expected. There's a lot more, not sure how to explain it, I guess a lot more calm and centred than my expectations before getting drafted.
Funny bastard.
Yeah. So
he's a funny bastard. I reckon he's a pisser.
What do you find funny about him?
I don't know. He's got a good switch between being serious and then, because you always know if he comes in the review or something cracking a gag, yeah, you feel, you know, a bit more calm than if he comes in after a loss pretty tense. He knows the ones that he can have fun with. He knows the ones to challenge, and he knows the ones, I don't know, put the hammer down on. So yeah, he's good like that.
I still feel like I've got so much respect to still earn from all the teammates. Yeah, it is just an honour to be able to go to the Westpac Centre every day, and yeah, just to be able to train with, you know, some of the players. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped to get out there, and yeah, it's just stoked to give an opportunity just to pull on the jumper.
Yeah, we've come down here for our exhibition match down in beautiful Morwell in the countryside, so we've taken the team bus down, and yeah, it's good to get out and give back to the country. They're all the same there.
Today's game, we take away their strengths. They're talking about contested ball, we're number one. We're asking them a question. The way that we've gone about it, we're asking them a question. I'm not sure what answer they've given us so far. We need to continue to do that.
We just knew if we just kept doing the things that we planned to do with our defensive game, and when we had the ball as well, our ball movement, that I think that those things would take care of it. So as the game went on, we were always in front, and every time they tried a bit of a sniff back, we kept it, we kept it pretty well.
Up forward, Corey Goldie was unbelievable, especially for his first game back. You know, he gave us an option up forward, and he really straightened us up. And Ferg and Cal Mathens for his first game was very lively at the feet. So I think, you know, that, then down back we had Marshall, Yags, everyone played a good role, so it was a great team.
Some of Corey's stuff was excellent, the way he competed, and And then for Paddy, he's just got that touch of class when he gets the ball. So, yeah, pretty handy to have those two guys back. And the next couple of weeks we'll obviously build their game time and look forward to them impacting later in the year. Obviously, like most country sort of areas, they love their sport, and the footy and netball club in particular is really strong in this part of the world. So, yeah, pleasing to come down and sample a little bit of country footy, but also, just give a little bit back. So, yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's great to come out here and give the locals something to come down and enjoy a good day. And it was great weather today, so yeah, I'm sure they would have loved it.
I barracked for Collingwood on the farm from a young age, and to play for Collingwood back in 1962 and play my first game for them. My mother barracked for Collingwood, and for me to go there, I had heroes like Bobby Rose and Murray Wiedemann and Kyle Merritt, and for me to put a Guernsey on and run out alongside and with them, it was just a wonderful thrill.
There, they fumbled it. Alan Morrow, it's up to him. He's grabbed by Wallace. Wallace tries to take the ball off him and very nearly did so. Tottenham just about to run out of space. Has a kick and it's his seventh. Did you see how close that ball was to out of bounds? Brilliant play by Tottenham. We were down at three-quarter time, I think something like 4 goals, so we had to lift, and I was fortunate enough to be able to kick some nice goals. I kicked, I think, 4 in the last quarter, so that really made the difference with the result, and obviously I would have loved to have seen that it should have been a grand final day rather than the second semi. Tottenham of Collingwood, 7 goals. A magnificent performance for Collingwood.
I've always been a great team player, and it's not a pat on the back for me, but it was a great win for the club and Bobby Rose. When I was playing at the MCG, Kevin Sheedy broke my leg, and I was on the stretcher and I jumped off to try and grab the ball. So yeah, I always had a high resilience for pain. I could my knee would be bad, but I'd still get by with it. I'd push my body very hard and determined to make sure that I played well. And pain never worried me a great deal. You just had to live with it and play well.
Murray's kick to the wing position on the outer side. Alan James, look at him. Bobby Rose, look at Bobby Rose, a great sportsman coming over to congratulate.
Yeah, we've been unlucky, very unlucky. More, Bobby Rose deserved a premiership. Wonderful player, and all the players loved him. He was a great coach. I think we should have recruited a bit better for Bob Rose, the club itself. We had the money to do it, but they didn't do it. Yeah, I go to a lot of Collingwood games and watch them, and don't say a lot, just enjoy the game.
That's very solidly. I don't think I'll totally upset by a few words.
The game really hasn't changed. You've still got to get the football, and you've got to have a little bit of ticker to get the football, hang on to it, and work hard to make sure the club wins.
I love being a member of the Magpie Army.
Because I'm part of one of the biggest sporting clubs in the world. I love sharing my dreams.
There's over 1 million others that bleed black and white like me.
And it's in my blood.
This jumper makes me feel 10 feet tall. A packed MCG every week.
Collingwood domination, envy of the nation.